The Western genre has been a cornerstone of cinema since it emerged prominently in the 1930s. It reached its height during the 1950s and 60s, becoming synonymous with American film. Iconic actors like John Wayne, Jimmy Stewart, and Gary Cooper were the genre's prolific stars. With the rise of Italy's spaghetti westerns in the 1960s, the genre gained a significant place in global cinema. The Western's enduring appeal lies in its ability to adapt and evolve, allowing each new generation of filmmakers to update it according to contemporary tastes and cultural sensitivities. The best Western films span nearly a century, from the groundbreaking classics of the 1930s and 40s to the modern reinterpretations of today. These 10 top Westerns represent some of the most iconic and lasting achievements in cinematic history. Number 10. The Searchers. John Wayne is celebrated as a cinematic icon, embodying heroism and chivalry throughout his career. However, his role in The Searchers is often hailed as his finest work due to his departure from this typical persona. In this film, Wayne plays Ethan Edwards, a Civil War veteran who returns home to find his family brutally murdered and his niece kidnapped by a Comanche tribe. Driven by an unwavering determination, Ethan, accompanied by his nephew, embarks on a years-long quest to rescue the young girl. The Searchers delves deeper into Western tropes than most films of its time, confronting the genre's often casual portrayal of violence and underlying racism. Wayne's portrayal of Ethan Edwards stands out for its stark realism and complexity. As an openly racist and bitterly vengeful character, Edwards challenges the conventional heroic archetype that Wayne had come to represent. This performance marked a significant shift, showcasing the darker, more conflicted aspects of his character, which many argue is the pinnacle of his acting career. Historically, The Searchers was ahead of its time in addressing these themes. The film's exploration of racism, violence, and the harsh realities of frontier life offers a nuanced critique that resonates even more today. In the mid-20th century, when the film was released, mainstream westerns rarely tackled such issues with the same level of depth and sensitivity. The raw portrayal of Ethan's internal and external battles provides a lens through which audiences can better understand the pervasive prejudices and brutal survival instincts that shaped the American frontier. The Searchers is not just a story of rescue and revenge, but a profound commentary on the human condition and societal flaws. As modern audiences reflect on historical contexts and evolving social norms, the film's significance has only grown, making it a compelling piece of cinema that transcends its genre and era. Number 9. Shane. The Western classic, Shane, experienced a resurgence in popularity following its influence on the 2017 superhero film Logan. This film serves as a profound and reflective example of the Western genre. Set in 1880s Wyoming, Shane follows the story of the titular bounty hunter, played by Alan Ladd, who arrives in a small town and takes on the role of a farmhand. As Shane integrates into the life of the family that employs him, he starts to envision a peaceful existence on the homestead. However, the tranquility is shattered when a ruthless cattle baron threatens the community, compelling Shane to revert to his violent past to protect those he has come to care for. Shane stands out as one of the most influential Western films. Its narrative of a hardened man yearning for a peaceful life, only to be drawn back into conflict, has been a recurring theme in cinema. This story arc, highlighting the tension between violence and the pursuit of peace, has been emulated in countless films. However, few have captured the depth of emotion and poignancy that Shane delivers. The film's ability to convey the inner struggle of its protagonist resonates with audiences, providing a timeless exploration of the human condition within the harsh realities of the Old West. The cinematography of Shane is another aspect that contributes to its enduring legacy. The film's stunning visuals, which beautifully capture the expansive landscapes of the Old West, earned it the Academy Award for Best Cinematography. The portrayal of the Wyoming scenery not only enhances the film's aesthetic appeal, but also serves to underscore the isolation and ruggedness of frontier life. These visual elements, combined with the film's compelling narrative, create an immersive experience that has captivated audiences since its release. In addition to its win for Best Cinematography, Shane received 5 other Oscar nominations, further cementing its status as a classic. The film's critical acclaim is a testament to its impact on the genre and its influence on subsequent westerns. By examining themes of redemption, sacrifice, Shane offers a rich and nuanced portrayal of the complexities inherent in frontier life. Its legacy endures as a benchmark for storytelling and visual artistry in Western cinema, continuing to inspire filmmakers and audiences alike. Number 8. Unforgiven. Nearly 3 decades after solidifying his place as a Western cinema icon, Clint Eastwood was contemplating retiring his 10-gallon hat and spurs. However, before stepping away, he delivered a final, poignant tribute to the genre that defined his career. Unforgiven is a masterpiece that adds significant gravity to the violence it portrays. The film follows Will Munny, a long-retired gunfighter played by Eastwood, who reluctantly takes up arms again to pursue a bounty on a cowboy who disfigured a prostitute. Munny's dark and ruthless past looms large over both his character and the storyline, making Unforgiven a stark departure from the mythic and romanticized depictions of the Old West. The film instead immerses viewers in the grim realities of frontier life. By deconstructing traditional Western tropes, Unforgiven exposes the brutality and moral ambiguity inherent in the era, offering a more authentic and sobering perspective. Eastwood's portrayal of Munny is arguably his most dedicated performance within the genre. The character's internal struggle and haunted past are brought to life with a depth and intensity that showcase Eastwood's acting prowess. This role, coupled with his direction, highlights his dual talent both in front of and behind the camera. The film's critical and commercial success is a testament to his mastery of the Western genre. Unforgiven was widely recognized by the Academy Awards, winning Best Director and Best Picture among its 4 total wins and 9 nominations. This acclaim underscores the film's impact and Eastwood's significant contribution to cinema. Unforgiven is seen as a transformative work that not only pays homage to classic westerns, but also redefines them. Its influence can be traced through subsequent Western films that seek to balance homage with critique, capturing the complexities of frontier life with greater nuance. The legacy of Unforgiven lies in its unflinching portrayal of the harshness and moral ambiguity of the Old West. By stripping away the romanticism often associated with the genre, Eastwood created a film that resonates with modern audiences, offering a reflective and critical take on the myths of American history. Unforgiven stands as a powerful conclusion to Eastwood's storied career in westerns, cementing his legacy as a pivotal figure in the evolution of the genre. Number 7. The Man Who Shot Liberty Valance. The idea of Western heroes and quick-drawing cowboys has evolved into a modern American myth. Few films explore the disparity between actual history and the grand American legend of the Old West as profoundly as The Man Who Shot Liberty Valance. This film centers on U.S. Senator Ransom Stoddard, portrayed by Jimmy Stewart, as he and his family attend the funeral of a modest rancher, Tom Doniphan, played by John Wayne. The presence of a senator at the funeral raises questions, prompting Stoddard to recount his story to the press about his old friend and the true events surrounding the legendary shootout. The Man Who Shot Liberty Valance is distinguished by its thoughtful examination of the Western genre, delving deeper than typical Westerns. It reflects on the nature and identity of the genre, questioning the myths and realities of the Old West. The film's narrative interrogates the romanticized notions of heroism and justice, revealing the complexities and moral ambiguities that lie beneath these myths. This film marked the penultimate collaboration between John Wayne and director John Ford, the second last of their 14 joint projects. Their partnership significantly shaped the Western genre, producing numerous iconic films that defined and redefined Western tropes. The Man Who Shot Liberty Valance stands out for its introspective approach and critical perspective on the genre's traditional themes. Historically, the film is notable for its reflection on the creation of legends and the nature of historical memory. It underscores how stories of the Old West have been embellished, transforming real events into heroic tales that fit the American ethos. The film's famous line, "When the legend becomes fact, print the legend," encapsulates this theme, highlighting the tension between myth and reality. The Man Who Shot Liberty Valance invites audiences to reconsider the simplistic narratives of good versus evil, and to acknowledge the complex human stories that underpin these legends. The film's contemplative tone and moral inquiry ensure its place as one of America's greatest movies, continuing to influence and inspire discussions about the Western genre and its cultural significance. Number 6. High Noon. High Noon, a film that sparked considerable debate upon its release, was met with fiercely mixed reviews for its radical subversion of Western conventions. Today, it is celebrated as one of the most powerful and daring entries in the genre. Gary Cooper stars as Will Kane, a newlywed marshal whose hopes for a peaceful life are shattered when he learns that a criminal he once imprisoned has been released and is coming back to town for revenge. Kane's efforts to rally a posse are met with apathy and fear as the townsfolk either reject him or flee, leaving him to face his adversary alone. This narrative of a solitary man abandoned by his community and forced to confront danger by himself was highly controversial. It challenged the typical Western archetype of collective bravery and communal solidarity. John Wayne famously criticized the film, calling it the most un-American thing I've ever seen. This contention was further fueled by the political climate of the time, as the film's screenwriter, Carl Foreman, was blacklisted for alleged communist sympathies. High Noon reflects the tension and paranoia of the McCarthy era. The film can be seen as an allegory for the courage to stand up against unjust persecution, mirroring the struggles faced by those accused during the Red Scare. Kane's isolation and the moral dilemmas he faces resonate with the experiences of individuals targeted by McCarthyism, who often found themselves deserted by colleagues and friends. Despite the initial controversy, High Noon has been reevaluated and is now regarded as a seminal work in Western cinema. It is recognized as one of the earliest revisionist Westerns, a genre that questions and reinterprets traditional Western narratives. By focusing on the hero's moral complexity and the cowardice of the townspeople, the film offers a more nuanced portrayal of the Old West. The film's accolades reflect its lasting impact. High Noon won 4 Academy Awards from 7 nominations, including Best Actor for Gary Cooper. Its real-time narrative structure and stark, minimalist style have influenced countless filmmakers. Over 70 years after its release, High Noon continues to be celebrated for its bold storytelling and its willingness to confront uncomfortable truths about heroism, community, and moral integrity. Number 5. Pat Garrett and Billy the Kid. Regarded as one of the greatest Westerns ever made, Pat Garrett and Billy the Kid chronicles the relentless pursuit of the infamous outlaw by the determined lawman tasked with capturing him. The film provides a stark, unglamorized portrayal of the Old West's law enforcement, presenting a brutally honest depiction of its harsh realities. Pat Garrett is characterized as a ruthless and unyielding sheriff, resorting to extreme measures, including the beating of prostitutes, to track down Billy the Kid. Pat Garrett and Billy the Kid is notable not only for its gritty realism, but also for the intense behind-the-scenes conflict between its director, Sam Peckinpah, and the studio, Metro-Goldwyn-Mayer, MGM, over the film's final cut. Peckinpah, known for his uncompromising vision and rebellious nature, clashed with MGM executives who were concerned about the film's length and content. This friction resulted in multiple versions of the film, with Peckinpah's original vision being significantly altered by the studio. Historically, the film's troubled production reflects the broader tensions in Hollywood during the 1970s, a time when directors sought greater creative control while studios prioritized commercial viability. Despite these challenges, the film has endured, with later restorations attempting to honor Peckinpah's original vision. The film's portrayal of Pat Garrett as a merciless enforcer challenges traditional Western hero archetypes. By depicting Garrett's moral ambiguity and ruthless tactics, the film offers a more complex and critical view of law enforcement in the Old West. This nuanced representation aligns with the revisionist westerns of the period, which sought to deconstruct the myths of the genre and present a more authentic and often harsher reality. Pat Garrett and Billy the Kid also benefits from a memorable soundtrack by Bob Dylan, who makes a rare acting appearance in the film. Dylan's music adds a poignant and reflective layer to the narrative, enhancing the film's atmosphere and emotional depth. Over time, the film has gained a reputation as a cult classic, appreciated for its bold storytelling, rich characterizations, and its unflinching exploration of loyalty and betrayal. Pat Garrett and Billy the Kid stands out as a landmark in Western cinema, offering a raw and realistic portrayal of the Old West, while also highlighting the creative struggles that shaped its production. Number 4. McCabe and Mrs. Miller. McCabe and Mrs. Miller, often described as an anti-Western, diverges from the more glamorous, cinematic portrayals of the Old West, choosing instead to focus on the authentic and gritty realities of frontier life. Directed by Robert Altman, the film tells the story of John McCabe, a gambler played by Warren Beatty, who arrives in a small mining town and establishes a brothel. While McCabe's charm wins over many of the townspeople, Constance Miller, a sharp-witted prostitute with a Cockney accent portrayed by Julie Christie, sees through his facade and becomes his business partner. This film, considered a revisionist Western long before the subgenre gained popularity, challenges traditional Western tropes. It offers a nuanced depiction of life in the Old West, highlighting the daily struggles and complexities of ordinary people rather than focusing on heroic feats and dramatic gunfights. Altman's direction emphasizes a naturalistic style, using overlapping dialogue and a muted color palette to create a more immersive and realistic atmosphere. McCabe and Mrs. Miller reflects the social and cultural shifts of the 1970s, a period marked by a growing skepticism towards established myths and narratives. The film's deconstruction of the Western genre mirrors the broader questioning of American ideals and history prevalent at the time. By presenting characters who are flawed and multifaceted, Altman invites the audience to reconsider the simplistic, heroic archetypes that had long dominated Westerns. The film's reception has evolved over the decades. Initially, its unconventional approach was met with mixed reviews, but it has since been reevaluated and is now regarded as one of the greatest Westerns ever made. Its portrayal of the harsh, unforgiving environment of the frontier, combined with its focus on character-driven storytelling, offers a poignant and realistic counterpoint to the romanticized visions of the Old West. McCabe and Mrs. Miller is also notable for its subversion of gender roles within the Western genre. Constance Miller is not merely a secondary character, but a central figure whose intelligence and pragmatism drive much of the plot. Her partnership with McCabe is complex and dynamic, challenging the traditional male-dominated narratives of the genre. The film's enduring legacy lies in its ability to maintain relevance and freshness more than 50 years after its release. Its influence can be seen in numerous subsequent Westerns that strive for authenticity and depth, eschewing the genre's typical heroics for more introspective and human stories. Through its innovative approach and compelling characters, McCabe and Mrs. Miller continues to be celebrated as a groundbreaking work that redefined what a Western could be. Number 3. Sukiyaki Western Django. Directed by Takashi Miike, known for his work on Ichi the Killer, Sukiyaki Western Django is a Japanese reimagining of the Italian interpretation of an American genre. The plot centers on a nameless gunslinger who seeks revenge amidst the conflict of warring gangs, closely mirroring the storylines of Django and A Fistful of Dollars, which in turn were inspired by Akira Kurosawa's Yojimbo. Meek's film pays homage to these classic westerns while infusing them with his own distinctive style. The movie borrows heavily from its predecessors, yet Miki's signature high energy and fast-paced action breathe new life into the familiar tropes and conventions of the genre. This fusion results in a unique cinematic experience that both respects and revitalizes the traditional Western narrative. Historically, Sukiyaki Western Django is an intriguing example of the global exchange of cinematic influences. The film's lineage traces back to Kurosawa's Yojimbo, a Japanese samurai film that inspired Sergio Leone's A Fistful of Dollars, an Italian Western. Miek's work brings this cross-cultural exchange full circle, reinterpreting the Western through a distinctly Japanese lens. This continuous loop of influence highlights the fluidity and adaptability of film genres across different cultures and time periods. Meek's approach to the Western genre incorporates elements of both homage and innovation. His dynamic direction and stylistic flair elevate the film beyond mere imitation, creating a vibrant and modern take on classic Western motifs. The result is a film that simultaneously honors its roots and offers a fresh perspective, showcasing Meek's ability to blend tradition with contemporary sensibilities. Westerns have long been a vehicle for exploring themes of justice, revenge, and individualism, and Meek's film continues this tradition while also challenging and expanding its boundaries. The blending of Eastern and Western cinematic traditions in Meek's film exemplifies the genre's enduring relevance and its capacity for reinvention. Overall, Sukiyaki Western Django stands as a testament to the enduring appeal and versatility of the Western genre. Through Meek's innovative direction, the film reinvigorates well-worn tropes and conventions, offering audiences a fresh take on a classic narrative. This film not only pays tribute to its cinematic predecessors, but also carves out its own unique place in the history of the Western genre. Number 2. Once Upon a Time in the West. Few directors have so profoundly shaped a genre as Sergio Leone did with spaghetti westerns. After the remarkable success of the Dollars trilogy, Leone delivered another classic with Once Upon a Time in the West, which many regard as his magnum opus. The film follows a mysterious drifter known only as Harmonica, played by Charles Bronson, who aids an outlaw in defending a widow from a ruthless mercenary employed by the railroad. Once Upon a Time in the West is immortalized by Ennio Morricone's iconic score, Henry Fonda's unforgettable performance as the villain, and its sweeping, epic narrative. Although the story is complex, it unfolds meticulously over the film's 166-minute runtime, revealing layers of character and plot with deliberate pacing. This film represents perhaps the most ambitious project of Leone's career, showcasing his ability to weave intricate stories with grand, operatic visuals. Leone's influence on the Western genre cannot be overstated. His stylistic trademarks, extreme close-ups, prolonged silences, and dramatic tension are all on full display in Once Upon a Time in the West. These techniques not only define the film's aesthetic, but also contribute to its status as a pioneering work that transcends conventional genre boundaries. The film's depth is further enhanced by its exploration of themes such as revenge, the encroachment of civilization on the wilderness, and the demise of the traditional Western hero. Fonda's portrayal of the cold-blooded Frank contrasts starkly with his previous roles as a quintessential good guy, adding a layer of subversion to the film. Bronson's Harmonica, with his enigmatic past and stoic demeanor, embodies the mythic qualities of the Western protagonist, while also challenging the audience's expectations. Upon its initial release, Once Upon a Time in the West received a mixed reception, with some critics finding its pacing and narrative complexity difficult to appreciate. However, over the decades it has been reevaluated and is now celebrated as one of the greatest westerns ever made. Its influence extends beyond the western genre, impacting filmmakers and genres worldwide. Historically, Once Upon a Time in the West marks a significant moment in the evolution of westerns, bridging the gap between the classic Hollywood westerns of the 1950s and the more revisionist westerns that followed. Leone's film deconstructs the myths of the Old West, offering a more nuanced and critical perspective that resonates with contemporary audiences. Once Upon a Time in the West is a monumental achievement in cinematic history. Its richly layered story, innovative direction, and memorable performances ensure its place as a seminal work that continues to inspire and influence filmmakers. Sergio Leone's visionary approach to the Western genre has left an indelible mark on cinema, cementing the film's legacy as a masterpiece. Number 1. Star Wars. Debates often arise regarding whether Star Wars should be classified as a Western or strictly a science fiction film. However, it's clear that while it may not conform to the traditional mold of a Western movie, it undeniably incorporates elements of the genre. The vast and rugged landscapes, solitary heroes navigating wild and hostile environments, and the thematic exploration of the timeless conflict between good and evil all evoke the spirit of the Western genre. Like many Westerns, Star Wars draws inspiration from Akira Kurosawa's samurai films, particularly The Hidden Fortress, which served as a significant influence on George Lucas. Star Wars belongs to a category of Westerns that skillfully blend the boundless possibilities of science fiction with the rugged backdrop of the Western frontier. This fusion of genres is central to the franchise's enduring and universal appeal, resonating with audiences across generations. Fans are drawn to the seamless integration of sci-fi and Western motifs throughout the 12-film saga, finding a sense of adventure and familiarity in this unique narrative blend. Moreover, recent Star Wars productions like The Mandalorian and The Book of Boba Fett have continued to explore the bounty hunter narrative, further expanding the Star Wars universe. These shows stay true to the Western-inspired themes of rugged individualism, honor, and redemption, which have been integral to the franchise's identity. Looking ahead, there are more exciting shows and films in development for eager Star Wars enthusiasts. However, it's essential to appreciate the Westerns that evoke the same sense of adventure and mystique that Star Wars has mastered. The enduring legacy of Star Wars lies in its ability to transcend genres and captivate audiences with its blend of imaginative storytelling and classic thematic elements. As the Star Wars universe continues to evolve, it remains a testament to the enduring power of cinematic storytelling and the timeless appeal of the Western genre. As you reflect on these top 10 Western films of all time, it's clear that this genre has left an indelible mark on cinema, shaping narratives and captivating audiences for generations. Whether you're drawn to the epic landscapes, the complex characters, or the timeless themes of justice and redemption, Westerns continue to resonate as a quintessential part of film history. If you enjoyed exploring these classic Westerns, be sure to subscribe to our channel for more in-depth analyses, reviews, and recommendations on the best films across genres. So, grab your cowboy hat and saddle up for an unforgettable cinematic journey through the Wild West and beyond. Subscribe today to join us on this exciting adventure into the world of film.